Welcome back. All right, news of the day video, probably my first of two news of the day videos. We're about an hour away from finding out who's going to be on waivers today. It is a Saturday in the preseason. There may be a lot of names on that waiver wire. We shall see. Good news for Rangers fans. Philip Hedl was at practice today. He skated on his own before practice. Let me clarify. Skated on his own before practice. So for Philip Hedl, the anchor of that kid line for the New York Rangers, he is progressing, of course, as long as he's good to go in 10 days' time when the season starts. Well, then you're not in bad shape, right? So Hedl being in practice is good. Now, on the not so good, apparently, according to everybody from yesterday, and I'm going to agree with this. So Minnesota signed Zuccarello, and after the news video went live, they signed Foligno. I was like, all right, so I could do a video, but on what? So I do think there's a Minnesota video there to be had. Because Foligno's contract is a bit of a head-scratcher. So the Zuccarello contract was excellent. Drops the cap hit for Zuccarello from this year to next year by almost $2 million. And Foligno's goes up by almost $1 million. He gets a 4-year contract worth $4 million per season. Now, of course, $4 million is what the salary cap is likely to rise by next year. But still, I don't know how well this contract's going to age. The one thing is, maybe Guerin's betting on Foligno having a bounce-back season offensively. Feels that last year was just a down year. He has had injury issues and whatnot. Foligno has shown in the past that he can be a very productive forward. And he's a leader on this team. So, we'll see how this thing goes. But consensus seems to be that the Zuccarello deal was very good. This one, a bit more of a head-scratcher and probably a bit of an overpay, but we shall see. Foligno's been the one of the faces of the franchise at the very least for the last, I would say, 5-10 years. Has he been there for? How long is he? Anyways, it feels like he's been there forever. I know he started out in Buffalo, but yeah, Marcus Foligno, all the best to him this season. And who knows? Maybe knowing he's got another $16 million coming, he'll just relax and go out there and play his best game. So this was an argument I saw yesterday on the internet, and of course, this was another one too where I was like, well, could I do a video on that? No, there isn't. That's more of a short. That's more of a, this is kind of dumb. And here's why. So players get mad when somebody steps on the logo. So there was, I think it was Connor Bedard being interviewed after the Chicago game, and he does this kind of eye roll kind of thing, and apparently it was that a reporter stepped on the logo. So the whole argument then becomes one of, show respect and don't step on the logo. First off, the logos are large that are on the floor. Secondly, if you don't want somebody to step on it, don't put it on the floor. And that sounds really simplistic, yes, but there are plenty of teams around the NHL that now have their logo on the ceiling of the locker room. It resolves that issue. Unless you're Lionel Richie, you're not going to be standing or dancing on the ceiling. So I really think that the whole logo on the floor thing is simply a matter of don't put it on the floor, because reporters are going to come in, they're going to step on it. It's not, it's weird. Either that or put quicksand under the logo. Sure, quicksand isn't a thing, but we'll go ahead and pretend it is for this video, and put that there. It's just, I think it's silly. And I've seen people talking about, the tradition. Yeah, and so put it on the ceiling, and then nobody's stepping on it, and nobody's disrespecting the logo. It's really weird. I know the NHL has carpets you can buy that have the logo on them, and I've always joked that if I was going to buy a bunch of those carpets, I might as well get ones that have teams that I don't cheer for on them, and then I can just sort of do one of these little dances on the logo. I don't get it. Anyways, if you don't want somebody to step on your logo, don't put it on the floor. That's my honest opinion, because I don't put, my jerseys are all hung up. They're not on the floor. I don't want people stepping on them. If I don't want anybody wrecking my stuff, I hang it up. If you don't want people stepping on your logo, then have it on the ceiling rather than on the floor, or put it on the wall. There's nice spots on the wall. It's a logo. It's a logo. Anyways, that being said, moving along. From last night's game, Cal Peterson impressive in a shootout win against the Bruins. The Flyers have some decisions to make when it comes to goaltenders. So Peterson was a cap dump, right? That the Kings wanted out of that contract. The Flyers take it on. But Peterson can be an effective goaltender at the National Hockey League level. So you got Carter Hart starting today. Sandstrom's the backup. So Hart and Sandstrom could very well be the tandem in net. But if Peterson plays really, really well, do you go with Peterson? And, of course, Peterson would likely clear waivers if they waived him. So that may very well be a consideration. And then you got Harrison. Harrison, I think, is a very good goaltender as well. I think there's some options for Philadelphia net. We'll see what happens. Atkinson will be playing tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers as well. We'll see whether or not their coach decides to watch from behind the bench or from up top. John Tortorella's preferred to watch up top. We'll see if other head coaches decide to try that. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, you have different people in the ears of coaches and assistant coaches from the booth anyways, so why not? Give it a shot. But anyways, yeah, we'll see how things go for the Flyers throughout the rest of this preseason. But at least they got their first win last night. Matthew Knies building a lot of hype, and apparently was Toronto's best forward in last night's win over the Montreal Canadiens. And the good preseason results, and again, I've seen although preseason doesn't matter. Right, yeah. But for these young kids that come in and play in these preseason games, and if they play well and it gets their confidence up, to them it mattered. It's not just the wins and the losses, it's the individual players as well. So Knies has got off to a very good start in the preseason, and we'll see if that translates to the good results during the regular season. He is older than a majority of the players we're going to be talking about for potential Rookie of the Year, but Knies is in the running for that as well, and he's going to get every opportunity to succeed with Toronto. So last night, the Kings beat the Ducks 4-3, so that's more on the entertainment guy for setting up the board. So I just figured I'd throw that on there. But as other people have already pointed out, it's the preseason. It really doesn't matter. And it really doesn't. I mean, I could just say, and this game was won. UFO came down and attacked, and the score was 3-2 at the time, so the NHL suspended play. So, yeah, it's preseason. It's not a big deal. So Jordan Kyrou is playing tonight for St. Louis. He's been out with a lower body injury, so he's coming back tonight. Nick Ritchie was amongst those released from the professional tryouts. A lot of players released from tryouts. Adam Clendenning seemed to be released from his tryout with the Rangers, right? Wasn't that like less than a week after they signed him to that tryout? At any rate, a lot of the players released from tryouts then go to the AHL. Where some of them already have contracts. But Nick Ritchie, a bit of a surprise there, only because it doesn't feel like it's that long ago that Ritchie was a decent third-line option in the NHL. I'm not saying a star or anything, but a decent third-line option. Noteworthy, if you're a Sens fan, Brady Tkachuk is in a non-contact jersey at practice this morning. So he played last night. It doesn't mean he's not going to play their next game either, just non-contact jersey. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully he doesn't miss any of the games that matter. Those games start in 10 days, and it may very well be precautionary to have him in a non-contact jersey as well. So we'll see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And let me know if you guys ever got one of those rugs too from the NHL. Do you get it with your team's logo on it, and do you step on it, or do you put like little orange cones around it and tell people off that they're not allowed to step on that logo? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.